Okay gamers, today we're having a very special video. Today we're gonna be ranking, making a tier list out of all of the monsters in Monster Hunter Wilds, all 29 monsters. I just want to preface this video by saying that this is 100% inspired by Maximilian's brand new video. We're gonna be doing something different though. Instead of rating it from 1 to 10, we are gonna be making a tier list out of it. S being the highest peak level of monster. I could grind this monster all day. But in F, it's the ones that you don't even want to think about. Like, I'd rather this monster just be deleted from Monster Hunter Wilds. What's our criteria for this tier list? I haven't really played the game too much. I've only finished the story. I've finished all of the bosses and I've at least killed all of the available monsters once. I have like about 50 hours into the game. I think we're gonna approach this in a very new player perspective. For my background, I've only played Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, Monster Hunter Worlds, Monster Hunter Worlds Iceborne, Monster Hunter Rise, and Monster Hunter Wilds. Wait a minute. I played a lot of Monster Hunter games. Anyways, it's not really that much in the grand scheme of things. I haven't really delved into the end game. The most I've played is Monster Hunter World, which is about 200 hours, but that's because I bought the DLC and I wanted to get my money's worth. Let's just jump right into it. The first one is, of course, whatchamacall this guy? The frog thing, Chatacabra. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've killed this guy about 10 times. I've only killed the normal version once, and that's on the very first boss. After that, all of the other 9 kills was from Tempered because I wanted the Arshan parts. For an opening boss, he's definitely on the higher side. I prefer him over Great Jagras. I prefer him over the other entry-level bosses where it's just a big Velociraptor. If you guys remember that in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, the first bosses were literally just the normal ones but bigger. So this one, I don't know if this is a new monster. It probably is. His moveset, pretty standard. But for a beginner boss, it's telegraphed, it's easy to read, but at the same time, it's very satisfying still to kill the damn thing. It's not like just a practice dummy that you use, especially if you're a new player or a player that hasn't played for a long time. It definitely has its difficulty still. It's not like super easy that you don't even need to use your IQ points. So I think we're gonna put him in the B tier. I think that's fair. The next monster that we encountered was the Doshugama. Oh, I remember this one. Is this the Doshugama? Isn't the Alpha Doshugama the one that we killed though? Anyways, the Shugamas, they're basically just big rats that kill giant monsters and plague the desert. I hate them. I don't like them. I don't like their look. I do like the story indications though. When they invaded the camp and tried to take the livestock, that was a pretty fun sequence. But other than that, the Doshugama was unremarkable. Its attack patterns were boring as hell. It wasn't the same as the frog because the frog had the excuse that it was a starter boss, right? The Chupacabra, the Doshugama is literally like about 2 to 3 hours into the game, I think. So at that point, you should have some mechanics. I don't know, it just feels too easy. And the design, the concept is just uninspired. At the same time, at least it's not your standard Velociraptor boss that has like 4 variants in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. So I'm still gonna give it props for that, but definitely not higher than the frog boss. That's for sure. C tier. The next one, oh, this stupid thing. Bro, I don't know if I have a clip of this, but I was screaming my lungs out. Just drop the fucking meat. We don't need the meat, bro. We have so much food at base camp. And besides, I think there's a part here where the what's the name of this? Where the Coamatress just bites it. And we can't eat that anymore. That's tainted. That's contaminated now. We can't eat that shit. I think this is the second boss that you fight. I get the point. It's the second boss. It's supposed to be easy. Is it better than the frog? Definitely better than the frog. I like it better than the frog. The design, yeah, I mean, look, he ate the damn thing. We can't take that no more, man. They're still trying to take it. Okay, buddy. Just because of that, I'm putting it above the frog. Let's put it on A tier. Is it too high? Maybe. Next monster is... What is this? Oh, it's the fucking Lalabarina. A bit about myself, I hate spiders. I don't have the arachnophobia type thing, but I hate spiders. I remember distinctly when I saw the boss here, I immediately called SOS because I wasn't staying here for long. I want to get out as soon as possible. If you see this for the first time, imagine, right? I'm playing this at night, alone, in the dark, and then this shit pops up, and it's a fucking spider. There's no shot. No, I'm not playing this. Huh? Hell no. Look at that. Look at that. And it's a red spider too. You know that's toxic. I'm not touching that with a 5-foot pole. I'm not touching that with a great sword. No way. But you cannot deny that the concept for it is very, very cool. The environment surrounding it, the scarlet waters, because of him being there, and as well as the overall concept with the flowers and stuff, it's you cannot deny that it's a good idea, a good overall design. I just hate spiders. Because I'm a little bitch, I'm putting it to B. The Congalala. This brought back memories. This was nostalgic as hell. I don't know if it was the Freedom Unite or the other PSP game, but there was definitely a Monster Hunter that I got stuck on a specific boss. By specific boss, I mean this fucking boss. Because he farted so hard that I always die. I think I spent 5 hours just to kill him the very first time. And I just need to say this. He's so much easier in this game. I don't know if it's just my experience playing other Monster Hunter games. Maybe it's just age, or they deliberately nerfed him. He's so much slower. He jumps less. He farts less. He doesn't do the belly thing every 5 seconds. But for nostalgia purposes, I definitely love this the most out of all of the low rank monsters. The story about it was stupid. They wanted the fur. I mean, huh? Is it supposed to be at B? Maybe. For some people, I'm putting it at A. You know, one thing I realized, we are now 5 monsters in, and not a single one is a dragon type monster. Balahara. You know what? I was surprisingly okay with this boss. I thought it was gonna be underground a lot more than it did. They gave us a lot of time with it being above the sand. It was a pretty good sand boss. I prefer it than Diablos. I'm sorry. Monster Hunter World fans. I'm gonna say it outright. Diablos is cancer. I don't want to see Diablos in Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm sick of it. We have like 5 million variants of it in world. I'm kidding. And there's only 2 variants, but still, I don't need it anymore. Please leave it all behind in Worlds. If we release a black, Balahara in Wilds, I'm gonna be okay with it. I'm gonna put it at B tier above the frog. Okay, the next one is Rompopulo. This one was very special because it had its very own area after finishing the game. I think it's the only brute wyvern that lived there. Very, very cool. I thought at first that it was a mosquito-based monster with poison, but it actually didn't. I think it's a blast type monster that secretes blast things. It was a pretty cinematic boss fight, and just look at him, man. He looks cool. He's aura farming right now. No shot, you're aura farming right now. This ballooning thing at the back as well, just the overall concept, overall design of the monster was very, very unique. How does it compare to the other monsters here? I think it's not better than the chicken. It's not better than the Congalala. It's better than these things. I'm putting it there. I'm putting it at the top of B. Next, we have the one and only Lightning Chad, the apex predator of the desert, the lightning dragon Raidao. This one might just be my favorite monster in base Monster Hunter Wilds. Just the overall attack patterns, the design, the lightning attacks, the hyper beam. The hyper beam was insane, and also the environmental changes that it does around the map when it's there. The cinematic backdrop while you're trying to kill it is just so cool looking. I think this might be our very first S tier monster. If they release another variant of this on other title updates, maybe like Guardian Raid Down, I don't know, just another variant. This one is Nursilla, and I'm gonna be frank with you guys, I only killed this boss once, and it's on the story mode. It's a spider, and you know how much I feel about spiders. The problem with this specific spider though is that it looks basic as hell. At least the Lalabarina had something with it. It had its red petals, red flowers, the environment of the red water. This one's just a basic ass spider. It looked creepy. It looked like it would fit in a Halloween party as a decoration. I don't need to say this over and over again. I just hate the spiders as a whole. The concept I'm fine with. It's just I don't like looking at them, okay? I mean, look at this, man. It's just a normal spider with purple marks at the back. At least give it something. Give it some character at least. What? It's been silk just like every single fucking spider in the world. Just for that, I'm putting it at F tier. I'm sorry. Our very first F tier. The attacks weren't even that special. I don't even remember it. That's how bad it was. It wasn't memorable of a fight at all. So I'm sorry. It's F tier. I'd rather it just be replaced with another variant of Lalabarina. Maybe a Lalabarina with blue flowers, blue things, like I and then call it like, I don't know, Fulgor Lalabarina maybe. I'm just spitballing at this point. Moving on, we have the best of the ape monsters, Ajarakan. I wiped twice on this boss fight right here. And even after that, I killed it for another additional 3 times because the armor looked so cool. Its attack patterns weren't really that much different than Rajang. Yeah, it's like Rajang but in a volcano. A Rajang that was born in a volcano, lived in a volcano, grew up in a volcano, something like that. My thought process on this is that I hope they put Rajang in this game and they turf war these monsters with each other. Like, that's the main idea. Get this, a Devil Joe, and then turf war with this one. And because they hunt in packs, fuck it, put 2 Ajarakans versus a Devil Joe. I don't know, I'm just spitballing again. And because of that, they're definitely better than the Fire Chicken. A tier. A for Ajarakan. Okay, time for the next one. Yeah, the Black Flame. This one made me scratch my head because I really thought, because it's a squid, a fire squid that fights on land. Overall, the attack patterns were easy enough. What I was surprised about was just the overall squid-like nature of it. I did not know that Monster Hunter could go this hard in terms of concepts. When this showed up, I honestly thought that it was black oily worms fighting against the monsters. But no, it was connected to one body, the Black Flame. Like, huh? This cinematic was so cool, man. This cinematic was so cool. He bodied these apes so easily that I'm kind of curious about its power scaling in terms of other Elder Dragons. Oily, fiery squid? Good idea. Good concept. I love the armors. I love the weapons. I think this might be an S tier again. I mean, the fight was easy, but we're talking about concepts here. And for concepts, I could definitely see this having another variant, being harder, having more movesets, and overall just being a lot of fun. S tier. Okay, this is the other version of the Shugama. At least this one made me a lot more curious about the lore of the whole thing. Honestly, it didn't really fight that much different than normal the Shugamas. But is it fair for me to rank it higher? It's basically the same thing but just with a white fur variant. You know what? Let's just put it on C as well. It's a fluffy mammoth. It's a fluffy rat. Just kill it. Oh, this one. This one was epic. When I saw this, I lost my mind. I lost my mind because I honestly thought that it was gonna be the first Monster Hunter game that we're not gonna see a Rathalos. So when I saw this, I was so hyped, and it was a juiced up version of a Rathalos as well. And you know what Rathalos is. If you've played Monster Hunter for a long time, you probably know what it is already. It's the equivalent of Pikachu in Pokemon, man. The movesets a bit adjusted, but basically the same idea. Is it very nostalgic? Yes. Do I still love it after all this time? Exactly, I still do. So let's just put it on where it properly belongs. The Guardian version, the normal version of the Rathalos, they're all on S tier. This is definitely biased, by the way. This tier list is now biased itself. I'm just gonna admit it. I just love Rathalos. And the Rathians. They evoke an emotion I cannot describe. Oh, this sequence. Jindahad. Jindahad was what Sevojiva wanted to be in Monster Hunter Worlds. It's a perfect size. It was hard enough. There was a lot of mechanics. There was a wipe mechanic that if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna die. Your whole team's gonna die if you don't if you don't hide behind one of those ice pillars. It's done. Yeah, and this is definitely my favorite raid type boss that they've released ever. Better than Sevojiva, better than Fatalis. I'm sorry. Fatalis is just torture. Maybe not S tier, but definitely higher than the apes. When I first saw Ebony Odogaron, I wasn't streaming. Odogaron was my favorite monster in Monster Hunter Wilds in that specific area. So when this showed up, I was like, oh my god, this is insane. The movements were basically the same. I think it's unchanged. I kind of want to trim down our tier list here, but I can't put Kongalala in B, man. So we're probably just gonna have to put it in A as well. Higher than Kongalala, but not higher than the Fire Chicken. Zhu Wu is the second squid monster. This one, I was a bit disappointed because I get that you need to have more than one monster for that specific exoskeleton so that you're not wasting resources. But come on, man. It's like a copy paste. I mean, look at this. It's a squid too, man. What's the difference? I don't know, man. I was very disappointed about this one because the first Black Flame boss was fun. This one felt like such a repeat. Even the movement, the walking animation was the same. I don't know. Maybe because of Brute Wyverns, they have more artistic license. But if you're using an exoskeleton of a squid for a monster, you don't really have much to go off of other than squid type monsters. So they were forced into that category. Where should I put this, chat? The armor is good, I guess. I don't know. The lore behind it was good too. I think it killed one of the keepers. I think it ate it. Pretty dark. But let's put it at D. Arkveld. My most hunted monster, I think, because the armor set of this monster looks so cool. That alone makes me want to put it on S tier. It has its own lore, its movement sets, its power, its ferocity, its aggressiveness. It's like fighting a Tigrex. It put me back to Freedom Unite, trying to fight the Tigrex in the top peaks of the first map. It just gave me that feeling again. I think I killed the sponsor like more than 20 times just to get the parts I need. I'm not even done with the parts. I think I need some more. After this video, I'm gonna hop in and kill some more of these things. Guardian Arkveld and normal Arkveld. Yeah, let's just put it in S tier. Both. Because there's not much difference other than difficulty, if I'm gonna be honest with you. A few moves here and there, faster, but you get what I mean, right? And we're on the final boss, Zoshia. The lore implications of an artificial elder dragon, because he's basically an elder dragon. I think he's on par with Fatalis in my head canon here. And the mechanic of, is it ice, like flaking off the skin and showing the black flesh underneath, it was so cool. The arena as well, I think it was a lot more easier though. Yeah, I think this boss was a lot easier, but maybe it's because of the story mode. Unfortunately, we don't have armor, we don't have weapon parts, we don't have anything to craft for this monster right now. So I'm guessing that just like Sevojiva, they're probably gonna make another variant of this, like an evolution, and that's where we're gonna get our weapons and armor for this monster. But for now, I think it's a solid A. But the foundations and groundwork that this monster put in place for future updates cannot be ignored. Oh, Fulgor Aljanat. Aljanat was the apex predator of the Forbidden Forest, and majority of your first 10 hours of Monster Hunter World was about Anjanat, trying to find Anjanat and trying to kill Anjanat. That was the very first subset of quests in Monster Hunter Worlds. So to see him in this game as a cameo was crazy. After fighting the final boss, seeing this one, it's kind of a letdown because I was expecting like, oh, what is this? We just fought the final boss. I wonder what the next boss is that they're gonna reveal. And bro, it's just Anjanath. If it was on like the earlier parts of the story, I would probably put it on a higher tier. But I've killed Anjanath so much times already. I perfected the moveset. They didn't change the moveset at all. It was barely an inconvenience to kill this man. And then you also need to kill it with another Nursilla as well, if I remember correctly. You need to kill it both at the same time. So it was such a hassle as well. I'm putting it at B tier just for that. Okay, what's the last one in these videos? Because I think there's a few more on the tier list. Oh, Gormagala. Of course, Gormagala. I played Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak, so I know of Gormagala, but if I am gonna be honest with you, he's so much easier in this game. I think they nerfed his movement speed. They nerfed something. The damage is still hitting. You're still gonna get one shot if you don't have armor equipped. Still does a lot of damage, but he hits a lot less. Or maybe it's just because we have so many focus points things that we just knock monsters down a lot more than other titles in the franchise. Hopefully they add more versions of Gormagala in the future. Maybe, you know, a variant. I'm gonna put it with Jindahad. I think that's fair. Now we are on the monsters that have no intros. Okay, so these monsters are probably gonna be on the lower tiers because they weren't really that impressive. Especially this one. The next upcoming one is Blangoga or Blangonga. How do you pronounce it? It's a Congalala ripoff, but ice version. Honestly, if they deleted this thing, just put a white Congalala, make it fart ice instead of brown shit. I'm gonna be 10 times happier. But because you decided to put this because you wanted variety, it just doesn't have as much character as the other ape monsters in the franchise. I'm putting it at F. I'm sorry. I'm putting it at F. What did it have? A kick? Some ice breath? I don't know, bro. Okay, next one is this Gravios? This is definitely Gravios. Gravios on early levels is so hellish to farm, especially if you don't have sharpness yet. But he's basically a walking dummy on the end game. He's not that bad though. He's definitely not as bad as the Doshugama. Higher than the Shugamas, but still on C. Gypseros, this Monster Hunter's version of Betelgeuse. Walmart Betelgeuse? Value Market Betelgeuse? I don't know. I don't care what you call it. It's still fun to see this thing run around, fly around the map, and just disrupt you over and over when you're trying to hunt something. Just for that reason, I love Betelgeuse in Worlds. So that kind of a monster and that kind of characteristic is very funny to me. I'm putting it at B tier, below B tier, because I think the red spider is still better. I'm sorry, the red spider is just so cool looking, especially in the environment. I can't put it below that. Hirabami, these were the snake things, right? That comes with pears or trees. These were boring as hell and very, very boring to kill as well because they were high up in the thing. You needed like either a long melee weapon, which I don't because I'm a sword and shield main, or a bowgun or a bow. So yeah, I hated fighting these things. Honestly, I'm putting it at D tier. They're unremarkable. They were snakes, man. That's it. How have we not ranked Ratian yet? Ratian is A tier. Ratian is definitely better in this game than Rise. They added a few more attacks that I haven't seen yet. Some breath attacks. It's just overall a smoother experience. Duna. This was the fat like fish thing in the forest, right? Hopefully we get a variant for this, because I definitely want a higher action, more damage version of Utduna. Yan Kutku, a staple. You can't hate on Yan Kutku. Yan Kutku's like the Teemo in the Monster Hunter franchise. It's like saying you hate, I was gonna say Pikachu, but no, Rathalos is the Pikachu. Meowth from Team Rocket in Pokemon. Something like that. Like a nuisance every time. I don't know. It's just nostalgic as well. I'm putting it at the top of C. Yeah, I think that's it. Overall, this is our tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm very excited for the new title updates that they will release. Hopefully, you guys follow me on twitch.tv/Sidrouf. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and see you on the next Monster Hunter videos. Hope you guys enjoyed this entertainment video. Peace out.